Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Charlene and this is my cozy little YouTube channel where I talk mainly about books, but also about travel and a little bit of lifestyle as well. And today I'm mega excited to talk to you about my first read of 2025, and that is The Escape Room. So I'm going to start off with telling you a few little things about this book, and then I'll get onto the characters, the plot and my thoughts and feelings, and I have a lot to say about this book. So firstly, it is called The Escape Room and it is by L.D. Smithson. It is 387 pages long. It is a thriller and the average score for this on Goodreads is 4.03. Now I'm just going to quickly read you the blurb as well. So, can you unlock its secrets? Everything is a clue. Bonnie arrives on a remote seafort off the coast of England to take part in a mysterious reality TV show. Competing against 7 strangers, she must solve a series of puzzles to win the prize money. No one can leave. It doesn't take long for the contestants to turn on one another. Who will sacrifice the most for wealth and fame? And why can't Bonnie shake the creeping sense that they are not alone? The only way out is to win. When the first person is found dead, the others begin to panic because there's a killer with them inside the fort, and anyone could be next. If Bonnie wants to escape, she needs to win. And also on the front it says 8 contestants, 1 killer, are you ready to play? And it's got a little sticker on it that said perfect for the fans of the Traitors. So yeah, let me get into what I thought about this. So firstly, I'm going to talk to you about the characters. There are several main characters in this story. I would say the 2 central main characters are a pair of sisters called Clara and Bonnie. They have recently lost their mum and they are struggling with their relationship and trying to make things work and trying to move on with their lives, but struggling somewhat. And then there's 7 other main characters who, along with one of those sisters, are the 7 other people that go onto this reality TV show called The Fortress. By the way, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I'm just going to give you little overviews of the plot and everything, but I'm not going to go into detail. And I don't think that I could if I wanted to, because there are so many things to this book and so many like intelligent twists and turns. So yeah, I'm going to give you my my best overview of the plot without giving anything away. Also quickly, just going back to all those characters, like I said, Bonnie and 7 other people go on this game show, a reality TV show, and each of those characters have got a very specific personality. And you know, you could really imagine each of those characters being a contestant on a game show, and that's what this book is based upon. It's like a reality TV show scenario, and then each of those characters has a very specific kind of personality and appearance and character traits and things that kind of really set them aside from each other, which is, like I said, something that you would probably see in a reality TV show. They're all really strong personalities, and I felt like because of like the differences between them and kind of how individually picked they are for these specific roles, I felt like I became like quite attached to the characters and I knew them quite well. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about the characters. So the plot. I'm not going to give too much away. Like I said, I want this to be spoiler free, but I also want to tell you enough that kind of like gives you enough information as possible about this book and will make you decide whether or not you want to pick it up. So Bonnie, for one reason or another, ends up going on this reality TV game show along with 7 other contestants. So there's 8 contestants in total. They go to a remote location. They have no idea where they're going. They've just been told to meet at this certain place, and then they get taken blindfolded to a certain location, which I think it says on the back already is yeah, it does, is a sea fort off the coast of England. So they're in the middle of the sea, and they're there to take part in this game show called The Fortress. So if you think about something like The Traitors, or even things like Love Island or I'm a Celebrity, it reminds me of something like that, where all the contestants are just dropped off to one location, they get on with it, and the cameras are filming them 24/7. So as soon as they get to this fort, they realise that things are not going to be quite as simple as they seem. The premise of the game show, The Fortress, is to test these 8 contestants on their skills with things like puzzles and riddles. So each of the contestants is really kind of like detective minded and very like interested in riddles, puzzles, things like that. So to be able to even get into the fort, they have to solve a load of riddles, and then once they get inside, they start to kind of come across these challenges and puzzles and riddles and things like that they have to solve to move their way through the competition, which obviously there will be a winner at the end. But as they start going through these competitions, they realise that it's not going to be quite as simple as they thought. They are much harder challenges than they thought, and they're also much more brutal than they thought. And they continue on getting more and more alarming until they start to think to themselves, like, what is going on here with this reality show? One thing that I really appreciated about the book is that it had short chapters, which for a slow reader like myself, I really love, because it just allows me to get through chapters much more easily. And then when you get to the end of a short chapter, you're like, oh, I might just read another one, and you're not like worried that you're going to be like sat there for hours, because yeah, it moves really quickly. There are short chapters which I really loved, and I really have to say that this is a real page turner. It's really been such a long time since I've picked up a thriller and been genuinely like so interested in it that I'm kind of like almost speed reading my way through, like trying to find out what's happening, and that's what was going on when I was reading The Escape Room. Like I said, this book reminded me quite a lot of the show The Traitors, but also in parts it reminded me of Squid Game, and also here and there it reminded me of the show The Only Murders in the Building, which I absolutely love. And that is because interspersed throughout the story there are also extracts from a podcast, which I really loved because it broke up the story really well, and it kind of gave you a perspective on what was going on with this story from a lot of different angles. So I very much enjoyed that part of it. And yeah, I love a crime podcast anyway, so the fact that that had kind of like excerpts of a crime podcast within it, I found really, really enjoyable. Another thing that it sort of reminded me of is recently I've watched the film Heretic with Hugh Grant in it, which I didn't really know much about. I just knew it was an A24 film, which I really enjoy those films. I think they look really good. So we watched that film and I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of it was about like themes of religion and puzzles, and in places this book really reminded me of that as well. And it does explore a lot of themes of like good, bad, good and evil, religion, heaven and hell. That sounds like not as deep as what the book is about. It's about so many other things, but it's just got those themes running through it as well. It's also about relationships, trust, you know, displaying your true character, or the 7 deadly sins as well. There's a lot of these kind of very, very interesting themes running throughout the book. Like I said, all of the challenges that the contestants have to do to move through this reality TV show are so intelligent and so well thought through. And yeah, they're just very, very clever. They're very interesting. This book is absolutely packed with twists and turns. And throughout the book, there are several points where I thought to myself, okay, I've got it. I know what's going on here. I think that person's involved, or I think this is happening and that's happening. And I was wrong like every time. There are so many twists and turns. There's just like twist upon twist upon twist to this book, and that's what kept me kind of like speed reading through. I was enjoying it so much, and I was just constantly like, what's going to happen next? And it's one of those books. It's like a fast-paced, fast-moving, high drama, high action, if you like, really interesting, very different story. As well as these themes of like religion and everything, you also have themes of psychology running through it. And it's like this book was almost written for me, because all of those things I find so, so interesting. And then when we get to the end of the book, there are several big twists, none of which I saw coming at all. Reading this book, you can probably guess by the way I'm talking about it, but I was enjoying it start to finish. There were no points where I was bored at all, no points where I thought, oh, is this bit necessary? It was a real page turn. It kept me reading it really quickly, and for a slow reader that really is saying something. And to be honest, when I picked this up, this was like a book that I just picked up, and I didn't really think there'd be much to it. That sounds bad, but I just thought, oh, this will be a quick, easy read. And I wanted to read something like that just because I've been in between a few other kind of bigger, heavier books. but I was so surprised on how much I enjoyed this. I hadn't heard anybody talk about it before I picked it up, and really it was just, you know, a case of having a kind of light read, and it was just so much more than I expected it to be. So much more interesting. You can tell by the way I'm talking how much I enjoyed it, and this was, I'm a person who loves thrillers, and this one was just like, well, I would highly recommend it to anybody. So after all that being said, ratings wise, I settled on a 4 out of 5 for The Escape Room. And that in my kind of scoring system, 4 is like very good. 5 I reserve for like my absolute like perfection books, things like Misery, Billy Summers, The Secret History, things like that. But this was a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it was so much more than I expected it to be. I love a thriller, and I really enjoyed reading this one. There was so much more intelligence and depth, and yeah, there's just so much more to it than I expected. When you see the cover and it says like, I'm a Celebrity meets Lord of the Flies, or Perfect for the Fans of the Traitors, you're like, oh, okay, that'll be interesting. But you kind of think of it as just being one of those kind of like throwaway thrillers, and it's just not at all. There is so much more to it. I'm banging on about it, I know, and I hope I'm getting across my enthusiasm for this book, because I enjoyed reading it so much, and I would highly recommend, if you enjoy thrillers or you just want a book that's going to shock you and be full of twists and turns, if you read The Housemaid and enjoyed something like that, please do read The Escape Room, because in my opinion this was much better, and I absolutely loved reading it start to finish. I hope that gave you a little bit of information about the book without giving too much away. I always aim to do spoiler-free reviews, because I just think, what's the point of watching a video and somebody giving away all of the information out about a book? You don't need to read it then. So I want to give you a little bit of information so you can make a choice on whether or not you want to read it and whether it sounds up your street or not. But as you can tell, I'm saying it is up your street. You need to read it. I would recommend The Escape Room to anybody. Get it on your 2025 list. If you have read it before, let me know what you thought. Spoiler free, tell me in the comments what you thought. And also, if you've read it and you know that I've read it and I've enjoyed it, let me know, what other books do you think that I should read? What would I enjoy? Are there any things that you think I should get on my 2025 TBR list? If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I would be thrilled if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. I am going to be doing my absolute hardest this year to really put everything into this channel and everything into reading, and I just really want to make it, I really want to give it my all. So there's going to be some exciting videos coming up, so do subscribe to my channel. Chat to me in the comments, and yeah, I'll be looking forward to talking to you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!